news together spells it out all too clearly. Now, besides the mindless drivel that accounts for roughly, 99.9% of broadcasting, TV is a sophisticated device capable of emitting ELF frequencies that interfere with a person's magnetic field. Again, frequency or vibrational control. In addition, subliminal techniques are used constantly to create a literal hypnotic state on unsuspecting viewers. A literal hypnotic state. And they don't mind telling you either. Now, this is U.S. Patent and Trade Office patent number 6506148, and it reads, "It is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer monitor or TV set. For the latter, the image pulsing may be embedded in the program material, or it may be overlaid by modulating a video stream either as an RF signal or as a video signal." Now, since the mass majority of those in the more technologically advanced cultures rely so much on television to dictate to them world events, right, or a specific version of reality, it is certainly no wonder that so many remain so oblivious to what is actually happening in the world, or to ideas that lie outside of the tiny, narrow perspective that television and its sorcerers and media manipulators present. Okay? Many people's entire worldview is shaped by the faux reality that TV perpetuates. Much of American television programming has become little more than filler between corporate advertising, and the amount of commercials for pharmaceutical companies has skyrocketed enormously. I mean, if you have watched daytime TV, it's like the television programs are filler, in between all these corporate advertisements, and a lot of them are, again, for pharmaceuticals, Are you too heavy? Take these pills. Depressed? Take these pills. Penis not stiff enough? Take these pills. Your dog wet the rug and you're pissed off? Take these pills. Now, television has become a massive instrument for corporate advertising, influence of public opinion, and for complete manipulation of the consensus reality. Now, perhaps consultant and media expert Hal Becker said it best when he said, "I know the secret of making the average American believe anything I want him to. Just let me control television. You put something on the television and it becomes reality. If the world outside the TV set contradicts the images, people start trying to change the world to make it like the TV set images." That sort of gives new meaning to the term reality television. Perhaps it's called reality television because, sadly, that has become people's reality. Now, I remember not long ago, maybe a couple of years ago or so, I was having a conversation with an intelligent and loving woman, someone I know, and she remarked to me that TV is reality. Now, she meant it in the exact opposite way that I would have. To her, TV accurately portrays reality. And the sad thing is that so many seem to believe this. To me, it is an absolutely false reality. Can one find enlightenment or self-discovery by wasting away so much of their life sitting in front of the high-definition sorcerer? I'd say that it's doubtful that anyone that does wants anything to do with enlightenment or self-discovery. And again, I'm not picking on people that watch TV, but this medium is used to shape and influence public opinion. Now, I've witnessed, and I'm going to give you an example exactly what I'm talking about here. I have personally witnessed on more occasions than I can count people responding to a news item on TV and simply reacting to it immediately with no thought, no questioning, no investigation whatsoever. Now, if you can get the majority or even a certain percentage of people to react in this way, then I can't think of a more comprehensive, powerful, and effective display of absolute mind control. It is this act of blind acceptance that creates the atmosphere necessary for societal degeneration to thrive within. Now, I've always been very curious, observing the act of people simply accepting without question whatever is told to them on the news as presented by the corporate mainstream media. So who benefits from people simply believing what they are told without question? What are the main sources of the majority of mainstream information? Who owns the media outlets, right? Is the mainstream media truly a source of unbiased information, or is it merely a tool for corporate advertising and the shaping and influencing of public opinion? The Tavistock Institute is a major think tank organization based in Britain. Its purpose was to infiltrate the collective consciousness to effectively shape and influence public opinion through propaganda and downright brainwashing, and it's been enormously successful. Now, one of the major affiliates of Tavistock was a man named Edward Bernays, the nephew of Sigmund Freud. Bernays was considered the father of propaganda. Now, sometimes we can get a glimmer of truth right from the horse's mouth. Bernays stated, "In almost every act of our lives, whether in the sphere of politics or business, in our social conduct or our ethical thinking, we are dominated by the relatively small number of persons who understand the mental processes and social patterns of the masses. It is they who pull the wires that control the public mind, who harness old social forces and contrive new ways to bind and guide the world." And further, Bernays stated, "If we understand the mechanism and motives of the group mind, it is now possible to control and regiment the masses according to our will without them knowing it." Now, television has been one of the main modern tools for regimenting and controlling the masses, for creating a false reality, and for effectively influencing public opinion. It is a powerful medium used to control the minds of programmed, conditioned, and indoctrinated human beings. It has been extremely effective in aiding the controllers in maintaining unwavering belief in this manufactured false reality. Now, all major media delivered through mainstream sources comes from one of two wire services. They are Reuters and the Associated Press. Since Associated Press is actually owned by Reuters, all mainstream print and televised news then comes from one source. Now, Reuters is owned by the Rothschild banking family, the financial force behind the funding of so many wars and atrocities, like World War II, the Bolshevik Revolution, the political force called Zionism, the procuring of resource-rich lands and the displacement of people. So much of the funding for all this comes from this banking network. So who benefits from delivering news in such a way as to support war, right? Like everything else, the consortium-controlled media operates within a hierarchical, compartmentalized pyramidal structure, with one major force at the top trickling information it wants disseminated down to its subsidiaries. Now, those with the title reporter or journalist are nothing more than corporate voice pieces delivering slavishly what the AP or Reuters presents as news. The vast majority of them are news readers and nothing more. Journalists. But we've been warned. We were warned a long time ago, actually. John Swinton, a former editor for the New York Times, claimed to his colleagues in 1953, he said this. He said, "There is no such thing at this date of the world's history in America as an independent press. You know it, and I know it. There is not one of you who dares to write your honest opinions, and if you did, you know beforehand that it would never appear in print. I am paid weekly for keeping my honest opinion out of the paper I am connected with. Others of you are paid similar salaries for similar things, and any of you who would be so foolish as to write honest opinions would be out on the streets looking for another job. If I allowed my honest opinions to appear in one issue of my paper, before 24 hours my occupation would be gone. The business of the journalist is to destroy the truth, to lie outright, to pervert, to vilify, to fawn at the feet of Mammon, and to sell his country and his race for his daily bread. You know it, and I know it. And what folly is this, toasting an independent press? We are the tools and vassals of rich men behind the scenes. We are the jumping jacks. They pull the strings, and we dance. Our talents, our possibilities, and our lives are all the property of other men. We are intellectual prostitutes." But we were warned even long before that, when Thomas Jefferson stated, "The man who never looks into a newspaper is better informed than one who reads them, insomuch as he who knows nothing is nearer the truth than he whose mind is filled with falsehoods and errors." Now, those two quotes I just mentioned apply more today than ever in our high-tech, information-rich societies. Now, another way in which the media is powerfully effective is in creating massive diversions and distractions. I'll give you a few examples. Look at how the media creates basically a circus carnival surrounding some celebrity scandal, right? Or sensationalized story. For instance, remember the Casey Anthony story, or the death of Michael Jackson, or the Anna Nicole Smith death. I mean, my goodness, what a carnival was made out of these events here. Now, I guess the deaths of famous pop stars or actresses or murder trials or other events deserve media attention, right? But while the media makes an absolute circus out of this shit, unbelievable events are occurring which receive little to no coverage at all. For instance, and I know that I've mentioned this in probably every podcast I've done or every video here, but I'll mention it again. Not many Americans are aware of the nuclear disaster at the Fukushima nuclear plant in Japan, which has already shown to be far worse than Chernobyl. We have fish caught off the coast of California testing really high in cesium, high radiation levels. TEPCO, the Tokyo Electric Power Company, has been caught lying and covering up this event, which has the potential to be an extinction level event. Folks, these reactor sites have been pouring hundreds of tons of nuclear waste into the Pacific every day since the tsunami struck in 2011. So for the last 3 years now. And they lie about it. They cover it up. It'll get a little bit of media attention. And then, oh, Paris Hilton and, oh, Bieber, whatever celebrity is getting attention in lieu of these major events that are occurring. Remember Fast and Furious, where it was shown that the U.S. government was giving automatic weapons to Mexican drug cartels. This disappears from the headlines. The Benghazi scandal. We can go on and on with this. So TV is used in many ways to distract from events that really matter. Now, the media and the entertainment industry create a reality bubble in which most people dwell. There is an infantile obsession with pop culture and celebrity status. With regards to what we laughingly refer to as news, the general consensus appears to be, well, if it wasn't televised on the 5 o'clock news, then it didn't happen. And conversely, if it appeared on the 5 o'clock news, well, then it happened. Whether it actually did or not is irrelevant. Truth, logic, and critical thinking must take a back seat while engaging in the shit show that is corporate media. And we witness this same media carnival over and again after the death of some celebrity or some pop icon scandal, or the latest propaganda claptrap, or the demonization of the next country that's about to be bombed. We see this media circus carnival happen all of the time. Usually, again, when those in control of mass media wish to divert your attention away from events that really matter and bring your focus to irrelevant issues. And TV does a wonderful job at it. As author Alice Walker has stated, she said, "I'm always amazed that people will choose to sit in front of the television and just be savaged by stuff that belittles their intelligence." Now, the false reality that TV presents promotes crass commercialism, superficiality, worship of the physical, and the acquisition of stuff. The media is the corporate apparatus designed to control the free flow of information, to influence public opinion, create a climate of fear, spread disinformation and government propaganda, and to keep consciousness in a low vibrational state of unawareness. Now, television also employs the use of subliminal messages and a cursory understanding of the use of symbolism in the advertising and corporate logos clearly demonstrates this fact.